Moments ago, Buckingham Palace released an urgent and somber update regarding Queen Camilla's health, leaving the nation stunned. The sudden announcement confirms that the Queen Consort is facing a serious and developing condition, with immediate changes to her royal duties. Sources close to the palace describe the mood as tense and preparations as ongoing. As speculation swirls and royal insiders break their silence, the world is left asking, what exactly is happening behind palace walls? The announcement. At exactly 6:42 p.m. on December 1st, Buckingham Palace released an unanticipated and notably grave statement regarding Queen Camilla's health. The timing of the release, late evening on a Friday, immediately raised eyebrows among royal reporters and political correspondents. The statement, only 132 words long, cited Camilla's withdrawal from upcoming engagements due to a thorough medical evaluation. Palace language, typically formal and reserved, struck a far more urgent tone than usual. Words like withdrawn, supervision, and evaluation made it clear this was serious. Sources close to royal press offices confirmed that the Queen Consort had cancelled her planned appearance at Clarence House, scheduled for December 2nd, less than 24 hours after it was confirmed. Notably, this was to be her final public appearance before the holiday break. This rapid cancellation was followed by internal memos instructing all royal departments to halt communications regarding Camilla until further notice. Richard Palmer of the Daily Express described the mood at the palace as tense, controlled, but clearly unsettled. Camilla's absence has since been extended across all December engagements, including the diplomatic corps reception on December 5th, a charity ball on the 9th, and an upcoming speech to Parliament. Her last confirmed public appearance was on November 27th, when she visited a literacy initiative in Wiltshire. Footage from that event has resurfaced in news cycles, showing Camilla looking unsteady on her feet and unusually pale. Insiders now admit that physicians were on standby at the venue. For many in Britain, this announcement immediately echoed past royal health emergencies. The palace used nearly identical phrasing during Prince Philip's hospitalization in February 2021 and during Queen Elizabeth II's health decline in October 2022. The omission of a clear diagnosis only deepened public concern. As headlines from Sky News, ITV, and BBC took over the national conversation, one thing became clear: something serious is happening. And Buckingham Palace is preparing for the worst behind closed doors. While the public scrambled for updates, inside the palace, questions swirled about why the announcement was so delayed and who decided what could be said at all. This wasn't just a health emergency, it was a battle over messaging. And as royal staff scrambled to find the right tone, it became clear that the monarchy's instinct to protect its image may once again be at odds with the public's demand for truth. Behind the walls. According to a senior aide who spoke anonymously to The Telegraph, initial concerns about Camilla's health surfaced on November 26th, nearly 5 days before the official announcement. She had reportedly experienced chest discomfort during a private lunch at Highgrove House, prompting a visit from her personal physician later that evening. King Charles III was informed that night, but no public or internal statement was authorized. The delay set off a ripple effect of confusion, with junior staff unaware of the severity of the situation until it was almost too late. Behind palace doors, there was immediate disagreement about how to handle the news. Camilla, known for her desire to avoid media dramatics, allegedly instructed her team to keep details confidential unless hospitalization became necessary. Charles, however, reportedly favored a more transparent approach, especially after the criticism surrounding delays during Queen Elizabeth II's final illness in September 2022. The palace's communications director, the Lord Chamberlain, ultimately sided with Camilla, resulting in a 72-hour delay in alerting even top-level officials in the royal press pool. The delay proved costly. By November 30th, journalists from The Guardian, Reuters, and even Le Monde in France had begun asking pointed questions about Camilla's absence from briefings. On X, formerly Twitter, hashtags like #WhereIsCamilla and #RoyalCoverUp began trending. The palace scrambled to contain the fallout. One insider later admitted that the team had been completely unprepared for the speed of public reaction, particularly in an era where digital platforms spread speculation faster than the monarchy can react. Veteran royal historians were quick to draw comparisons to the handling of Princess Diana's 1997 crash, where delayed information fed public distrust. "They still operate like it's 1953, said one analyst. The secrecy surrounding Camilla's current condition has ignited a debate not just about transparency, but about whether the monarchy has learned from its past mistakes. As one former courtier told the press, this wasn't just about protecting Camilla, it was about avoiding another PR disaster. And they may have failed on both counts. As the storm of criticism grows louder, one detail remains impossible to ignore. Queen Camilla had been showing signs of decline for weeks. Her last public appearances now seem like quiet distress signals missed by many. But now, in hindsight, they read like warnings. And they beg a difficult question. How long has the palace really known this was coming? Public appearances raise questions in hindsight. Queen Camilla's final public engagement was on November 27th at the National Literary Trust event in Wiltshire, and in retrospect, the signs were obvious. She appeared visibly fatigued, leaned heavily on an aide, and cut her scheduled remarks from 10 minutes to just 6. Observers noted her trembling hands, pale appearance, and the fact that she left through a side entrance instead of the front portico. Palace officials blamed a tight schedule, but journalists on site were already whispering concerns. Earlier in mid-November, Camilla had been slated to attend a Gibraltar commemorative ceremony, a major diplomatic engagement. But just 72 hours before departure, the trip was cancelled. The official explanation cited scheduling conflicts, though sources now confirm that Camilla experienced shortness of breath and chest discomfort during a private event at Clarence House. Royal physicians visited her that same night, but no medical alert was issued to the press. Changes in her wardrobe were also noted throughout November 2023. Known for her tailored dresses and signature heels, Camilla began opting for loose-fitting gowns and lower orthopedic shoes. Fashion commentators assumed it was due to age-related comfort, but insiders now believe it was a response to bloating and fatigue. At one reception on November 19th, she appeared in all black, unusual given that the event celebrated the reopening of a youth center. The messaging was clear to some. She was not well. It's now evident that senior palace aides were aware of these signs. Multiple sources claim that Camilla's personal physician advised a temporary step back as early as November 20th. However, Camilla insisted on maintaining her public role, perhaps underestimating the toll it was taking on her health. One former staffer said, "She didn't want to look weak. She wanted to finish the year strong. In trying to stay visible, Camilla may have put herself in danger. And now, the crown must deal with the consequences." The medical situation. Following the initial statement from Buckingham Palace on December 1st, royal correspondents pressed for more information about Queen Camilla's condition. The palace later confirmed that she is under continuous medical supervision and receiving a comprehensive evaluation by royal physicians. While no diagnosis has been publicly disclosed, multiple sources, including one from St. Thomas's Hospital in London, suggest that her condition involves respiratory complications with potential cardiac involvement. Notably, this was the same medical facility used during Prince Charles's COVID-19 hospitalization in 2020. Camilla has not been transferred to a public hospital. Instead, she is reportedly receiving care in a private suite within the Clarence House Medical Wing, which is equipped with emergency equipment and round-the-clock staff. A team of 14 consultants, including 2 flown in from Oxford University hospitals, is believed to be coordinating her treatment. This level of attention is rare and usually reserved for royals facing potentially life-threatening conditions. As of 8 a.m. on December 3rd, her status remains listed as serious but stable. Interestingly, several high-profile medical visits that occurred in November 2023, previously unreported, are now coming to light. On November 21st, Camilla was seen entering a private wing of the Wellington Hospital, accompanied by 2 aides and a security detail. At the time, the palace explained it as a routine wellness scan, but insiders now say this was an urgent consultation regarding chest tightness and dizziness. These were reportedly the first clear indicators that something more serious was developing. Royal staff have been instructed to clear Camilla's schedule indefinitely, and no return date to public duties has been set. This includes a postponement of her highly anticipated speech at the Royal Osteoporosis Society's annual forum, originally scheduled for December 10th. As of today, all future engagements have been pulled from the court circular. The Queen Consort has long been regarded as a steadying presence in the monarchy, and her prolonged absence is already impacting both public perception and internal royal logistics. While doctors monitor Camilla's condition hour by hour, it's the emotional toll on King Charles III that's now coming into focus. As monarch, he must present strength. As husband, he's facing one of the most personal battles of his life. Sources say the king has all but retreated from his duties, choosing instead to remain at Camilla's side. And as pressure builds inside the palace, the man who wears the crown finds himself weighed down by heartbreak. Charles's reaction. In the early hours, just after 6 a.m., King Charles was seen arriving at Clarence House through a rear entrance, unaccompanied, solemn, and reportedly refusing all security detail beyond 2 guards. He had cancelled his planned economic roundtable with Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, postponed a Privy Council meeting, and requested that all non-essential briefings be deferred until further notice. This is the first time in his reign that Charles has removed himself entirely from public-facing duties. Royal insiders describe the king as deeply affected, noting that he hasn't left Camilla's bedside for more than 90 minutes at a time since the night of November 30th. According to one senior aide, Charles has been sleeping in an adjoining suite, eating sporadically, and refusing to meet with ministers except through written briefings. This level of withdrawal is rare and reminiscent of his behavior in 2005, following the death of Pope John Paul II, when he secluded himself for 4 days out of respect and grief. The emotional burden is compounded by the weight of duty. As sovereign, Charles is expected to uphold ceremonial obligations regardless of personal circumstances. But in this case, he has chosen to delegate key responsibilities to Prince William and Princess Anne. On December 2nd, William attended a previously scheduled veterans ceremony at Whitehall, where he made no direct comment about Camilla but was visibly somber. Anne, meanwhile, has been quietly taking over internal briefings and foundation work on the king's behalf. Reports also confirm that Charles held a private emergency meeting with William and senior advisors on the evening. The topic, temporary redistribution of the Queen Consort's duties, and contingency planning should her condition worsen. Insiders suggest the meeting lasted over 3 hours and included medical advisors and legal counsel. The king, it appears, is bracing for every possibility, even those he cannot bear to name aloud. For the monarch, this is no longer just a family crisis. It is a sovereign's trial. With Charles in retreat and Camilla's status uncertain, the burden of public stability has fallen on the next generation. In particular, Prince William and Princess Catherine have emerged as the visible face of the monarchy during this silent storm. Their movements are being tracked more closely than ever, and behind their composed public images lies a coordinated effort to hold the institution together. What was once a gradual transition is now accelerating fast. William and Catherine step in. By midday on, it became clear that Prince William and Princess Catherine were no longer just the future of the monarchy. They were its present. William stepped in to attend a remembrance event at Whitehall, originally planned for Charles. Dressed in navy and black, he delivered a brief but poignant address, saying, "In uncertain times, we stand together." Though he didn't name Camilla, his words were widely seen as a veiled reference to the situation unfolding behind palace walls. Catherine, who had been recuperating from a minor medical procedure in October 2023, made an unexpected appearance at Kensington Palace to host a scheduled meeting with mental health advocates. She was photographed wearing a muted gray coat, noticeably slimmer than in recent months, and walked with a calm, purposeful presence. Royal aides confirm she offered to resume selective duties beginning December 4th, a move seen as both compassionate and strategic. Her ability to reassure the public without uttering a word is proving critical. Behind the scenes, the couple has reportedly taken over the coordination of more than 8 engagements originally scheduled for Camilla and Charles. Catherine will now lead a children's charity visit in Bristol, while William will host a virtual summit with Commonwealth youth leaders on December 6th. Both are said to be in constant contact with senior royal aides, medical liaisons, and legal teams. Their influence within the firm is no longer ceremonial, it's executive. Public reception has been overwhelmingly supportive. Polls conducted by YouGov on the evening of showed that 76% of respondents felt more confident in the monarchy, with William and Catherine at the forefront. Their unity, poise, and willingness to act in crisis has not gone unnoticed. As one BBC commentator said, "This is the moment the monarchy needed them most, and they delivered." The palace machine mobilizes. As the situation surrounding Queen Camilla's health grew more urgent, the royal media apparatus swung into full crisis management mode. At 3 p.m., a strategic communications meeting was held inside St. James's Palace, involving the Lord Chamberlain, 3 senior royal PR advisors, and external crisis consultants from Grayling UK, a government-affiliated firm. Their goal was clear: manage headlines, mitigate panic, and prevent misinformation from spiraling out of control, something the palace failed to do during Queen Elizabeth II's health decline in 2022. The first step was adjusting the messaging tone across official channels. The royal website replaced a smiling image of Camilla with the coat of arms and a statement reading, "Her Majesty remains under careful observation." Simultaneously, friendly outlets such as the Daily Mail, Hello Magazine, and The Telegraph were briefed on a softer narrative. Camilla's dedication to duty, her quiet bravery, and her deep gratitude for the outpouring of public support. The aim was to replace uncertainty with sentiment and steer attention away from the worst-case scenario. Despite these efforts, gaps in information left room for rampant speculation. Social media platforms like TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, exploded with theories. Some questioned whether Camilla's condition was terminal, others speculated she had already been moved to a private hospice. Videos tagged with #CamillaUpdate surpassed 11 million views within 24 hours. Though the palace attempted to suppress conspiracy hashtags through formal takedown requests to platforms, their efforts were only partially successful. In today's digital age, silence doesn't calm panic, it amplifies it. Privately, palace officials are preparing for extended disruption. Sources confirm they have drafted 3 possible press scenarios: one for full recovery and return, one for long-term withdrawal, and a final black file plan should Camilla pass. These contingency scripts are standard royal protocol, but their activation now underscores the seriousness of the moment. For the monarchy's public face to remain intact, the palace must manage both truth and optics, a delicate dance it has struggled with for decades. While the palace battles headlines behind the scenes, the people have taken their reactions public. Flowers, letters, and digital tributes have poured in, but so have doubts, memes, and harsh criticism. Britain stands divided, not only on how Camilla is remembered, but on what her illness symbolizes. It's not just a health update anymore. It's a referendum on legacy, loyalty, and who the public really sees as the heart of the monarchy. Public response. By the morning, public response to Camilla's health crisis had split into 2 distinct waves. On one side, crowds gathered outside Clarence House in Buckingham Palace, leaving handwritten cards, flowers, and candles. One sign read, "Stay strong, Camilla, we're with you." Supporters praised her resilience, especially during the years after marrying King Charles III in 2005, and pointed to her work in literacy and osteoporosis awareness as signs of true public service. For many, she had quietly earned their respect. But not everyone agreed. Younger generations, particularly those born after 1997, expressed far less sympathy. On platforms like Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, old clips of Princess Diana began recirculating. Interviews, speeches, and documentaries comparing Camilla's rise to what Diana endured. Hashtags like #DianaForever, #NotMyQueen, and #KarmaOrCrisis climbed into the top trending list by Sunday evening. Public opinion polls by YouGov and Ipsos Mori showed a 28-point age gap in sympathy toward Camilla between voters aged 18 to 34 and those over 55. The divide is deeply generational and deeply emotional. For older Britons, Camilla represents continuity, healing, and duty. For younger Britons, she symbolizes betrayal, elitism, and the unchecked power of legacy influence. This rift has only been widened by how the palace has handled the information flow. Many feel they are being treated like spectators instead of citizens in a constitutional monarchy. And when the crown appears to conceal more than it reveals, trust is the first casualty. Public support, however, has clearly shifted toward William and Catherine. The couple's calm visibility during this time has restored confidence even among skeptical audiences. One viral tweet read, "Camilla's health is tragic, but William and Kate stepping up is the future we actually support." In a time of royal uncertainty, it is not Charles the public turns to, it's his son and daughter-in-law. And that contrast, made sharper by Camilla's absence, may define how the monarchy evolves after this crisis. As public emotions rise, eyes have also turned to the past. Camilla's journey to the throne wasn't smooth. It was forged in scandal, survival, and sharp scrutiny. With her future now uncertain, supporters and critics alike are revisiting the question, what will Queen Camilla be remembered for? And in answering that, we are forced to confront not just her legacy, but the monarchy's as a whole. Looking back. From mistress to monarch, Camilla's path through royal history is among the most controversial in modern Britain. First introduced into public life during Prince Charles's marriage to Diana in the early 1980s, Camilla endured decades of harsh media coverage, including headlines branding her a marriage wrecker. The scandal reached its peak in 1993, when the infamous Camilla-gate tapes were leaked. At the time, her approval rating hovered below 20%, and she largely vanished from public view. But in the decades that followed, Camilla quietly rebuilt her image. After marrying Charles in April 2005, she slowly took on royal duties, focusing on literacy, domestic violence prevention, and military families. By 2016, her reputation had improved dramatically. Public opinion polls showed over 52% of Britons supporting her future title as Queen Consort. Her relationship with Queen Elizabeth II also strengthened, culminating in the late monarch's 2022 statement expressing her sincere wish for Camilla to be crowned alongside Charles. Despite the rehabilitation of her image, doubts never fully vanished. Critics pointed to her influence over Charles, her reportedly cool relationship with Prince Harry and Meghan, and rumors of behind-the-scenes manipulation during the years following Diana's death. With Camilla's current health crisis, many are revisiting those unresolved tensions. Supporters argue she earned her place. Detractors insist she was never fully accepted, only tolerated by a carefully managed public narrative. Now, as her role in the monarchy is paused indefinitely, her legacy feels fragile. Will she be remembered as a survivor of royal chaos, or a controversial figure who never fully won the hearts of her people? History is still being written, but what's clear is that Camilla's story is inseparable from the monarchy's most turbulent chapters, and how this moment ends may finally decide which version of her legacy endures. As we near the end of this historic week, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The monarchy is facing yet another crossroads. With Camilla's future uncertain, Charles distracted, and William stepping forward, the next phase of royal leadership is already beginning to take shape. Whether by design or by crisis, power is shifting, and the next few weeks may redefine what the crown looks like for the next generation. The road ahead. The palace has confirmed that Queen Camilla will remain under medical observation for at least 2 more weeks, meaning no return to public duties, if at all, this year. This absence has triggered behind-the-scenes discussions about restructuring the royal roster of duties for early 2024. With the Queen Consort out indefinitely, the crown faces a logistical and symbolic vacuum that even seasoned royals are struggling to fill. For King Charles, the impact is immense. Camilla has been his closest advisor for over 50 years, and her absence leaves him emotionally isolated and publicly vulnerable. Advisors have already begun rebalancing the royal calendar to account for his reduced availability. State functions in January, including a planned trip to New Zealand, are now under review. The monarchy is not collapsing, but it is wobbling. And without Camilla's stabilizing presence, the burden of continuity falls elsewhere. That burden now sits with William and Catherine, whose increased responsibilities in the past 10 days have not gone unnoticed. Their poise, empathy, and adaptability have reassured both the public and internal staff. With the Commonwealth Summit and several domestic charity events already shifted to their calendars, insiders believe we're witnessing the early seeds of a transitional reign, not officially, but practically. In the public mind, the baton is moving. Ultimately, Camilla's health crisis has become more than a medical event. It is a moment of institutional clarity. The royal family now faces a decision: cling to tradition and hierarchy, or accept that the future has arrived sooner than planned. The coming weeks may determine not just how Camilla recovers, but how the monarchy evolves. And when history looks back at December 2023, it may not just remember a queen in crisis, but the quiet birth of a new royal era. As Queen Camilla continues her battle behind closed doors, the royal family braces for a potentially historic shift. With her calendar cleared and the monarchy on edge, every update becomes more urgent. The public's concern is matched only by growing uncertainty within the palace. Will Camilla return to duty? Or is this the beginning of a royal transition? Stay tuned for the next chapter in this unfolding crisis. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for real-time updates.